Rose, I was almost finished with my answer. Almost. I had like 10 more seconds.
Yeah, no,
I
think a lot of people got cut off in mid-conversation.
I was like, oh.
Antoine, type in your answer in the chat. It's totally valid.
Okay.
Yeah, or else just say it.
Well, the question while we're waiting, the question was what will we do, or what have we done to attract and retain millennials in our city? And as a millennial, I know that's a very important issue as it relates to sense of place and where you live based on the things that are available to you. So one thing we have to do as a city is invest in pre-K throughout our city to make sure that these young families feel that the education system is going in the right direction. Two, I propose that we start a Little Rock Promise Scholarship where everyone who graduates from public school in the city of Little Rock receives from the city of Little Rock. Third, I think it's important that we have festivals and signature events in the city of Little Rock. We lost River Fest. That shouldn't have happened. We need to fight for things like that where Little Rock is a destination place. There's a reason people move to Austin. There's a reason people move to Nashville. There's a reason people move to Dallas-Fort Worth. They have things to do that we don't have here. And we need to make sure that happens. I think the city board has a role in making sure Little Rock is a destination place that young people want to live in, but we have to be intentional about it.
Welcome back, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for that last statement. I think most of us are back into the rooms, and just to be fair with everybody, as a candidate, we have a last piece, which is the closing statements for each candidate.
Hello.
Yes.
You have the unprepared questions.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Unprepared questions. Thank you so much.
Questions right now. We need everyone who is not a candidate to mute yourselves and turn off your video. What we will do is for the next 30, 40 minutes, we will do unprepared questions. And we also have several questions that have been emailed or inboxed to us that if we have time, we'll go through those as well.
Okay, so do we have all of the candidates back into the main room here?
I don't see Sheridan
okay.
that group from there.
And Sarah, to you, what I did while we're on break, I went through all the unprepared questions. So I've got it listed. So we'll have one question per candidate. So what we'll do is we can bounce the questions, but I'll let you know what name. It's kind of complex to figure out how to get one question for all of the 10 folks that we got, but I got it figured out, I think.
Perfect. So I'm going to be passing the mic to you then, Scott.
Okay, we'll bounce it back and forth. Again, I'm going to do a quick roll call to see if all the candidates are here. When I say your name, please just say present. That way we got everyone. Sheridan Richards. Okay, not hearing from Sheridan. She may not be in yet. Ron Muse. Ron, here. You present? Okay. Let's see. David Bubbas.
Here.
All right. Dale Picard. Dale. Okay. Dr. Campiris.
Sure.
Okay. Joan Adcock.
Present.
Okay. LaRon McAdoo.
Here.
Greg Henderson.
Present.
Okay. Antoine Phillips.
Present. I hadn't had some present in a while. I appreciate you doing a roll call.
Yes, sir. And then Russ Raycott.
I'm here, thanks. And Dale's
okay.
here, but he's muted.
Dale, are you there?
He's got his mic muted.
Okay. All right. So we'll do the best we can. Okay. So I'm going to bounce these around. I'm going to start off with Ron Muse. I'm going to give
Mr.
Scott, it looks like Sheridan has joined the room as well.
Oh, awesome. Sheridan, are you in the room?
Yes, I got booted off and had to reconnect. Apologies.
Okay. You got kicked off the island. I'm glad you got back. Okay. So I think Dale, we see him, but he's muted. Dale, if you're there, do something. Wave your hands.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. There you go.
I'm back.
We got everybody. All right. Then we'll start in the order. What we're going to do now are pre-released, or hold on, I got the wrong question. Just give me 1 second. Let me go get my right questions. Y'all hold on a second. That's what happens when you get old. Can't read.
I wouldn't know about that.
All right, I'm back. I got the right questions.
You got lockers in there, Scott? What is that?
What? Yeah, ain't that cool? That's an old locker that I found on Facebook Marketplace, and I had no use for it, but now I just use it to store stuff in it. It's just one of those, but it's kind of cool. Guy wanted $50 for it. I gave it to him. I had no idea what to do with it. Now it's in my office. All right. So question number 1 goes to Sheridan Richards. And Sheridan, question number 1, these are unreleased. Question number 1 is that there are no Latinx city director candidates and there are no Latinx city administrators working for the city of Little Rock. There are also no bilingual city employees. Why do you feel this is the case, and what will you do to work to change this narrative?
Oh, wow. So why I think it's the case, because of systemic racism. We have completely blocked this demographic out of leadership for our city, and that needs to change. As an HR professional, I value diversity, and that includes racial, economic background, age, socioeconomic, etc. And so we need to change that. We need to engage our Latino population and make sure that we are identifying ways to develop people to step into these pipelines for these opportunities. I'm sure the talent is already here. It just needs to be given an opportunity.
Thank you so much. Scott, you're muted.
Okay, Sarah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
great. Okay, so question number 2 goes to Ron Muse. And Sarah, you got question number 2 before you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it's as follows. Why should anyone consider relocating to Little Rock from the county, the state, or the foreign nation in which they currently reside, Little Rock?
I'm sorry, that broke up. Do you mind repeating it?
Yes, I can repeat it. Why should anyone consider relocating to Little Rock from the county, the state, or the foreign nation in which they currently reside, Little Rock?
Well, Little Rock has a lot to offer. There's been a lot of development in the downtown area. The entertainment zones in the near the river, along the river, the Soma district, also the renovation of buildings downtown, restaurants. It's just a very, very nice place to visit. The only problem is that would keep them from doing this is this major construction that we're going to go through for many years that will disrupt the flow and ebb into those areas, because people like to avoid those situations where it's more difficult to get into these areas. We do have other options, of course, in West Little Rock. We have the central areas, Midtown, you know, the other areas that are very attractive to those who might not want to venture into the downtown area during this construction. I think we're a happening city. We need to have more going on, but due to the COVID-19, we, you know, have lapsed in time and involvement.
Time is up.
Thank you so much. Scott, back to you.
Okay, so question number 3 will go to David Bubbas. And question number 3 is, what does racial, social, gender, economic, and religious equity look like as far as the composition of the City of Little Rock Board of Directors is concerned, and what will you do to achieve this?
I mean, I think you've pointed it out with just here in the last question or the one before with the Hispanic lack of Hispanic on the board. As far as addressing it, that is a very difficult issue. You know, I was was kind of hoping that Miguel Lopez might run for a position on the board. Considered maybe even supporting him if he did run. I was hoping to meet with him to do that, but he elected not to run. And so anyway, you know, quite frankly, it's a very difficult. We do need better representation. We need better from all facets of our Little Rock community to be fairly represented and to hear everyone's voice. It would be great to have more diversity on the board. So I'm not sure that I know the answer of how to fix that problem, but I would be happy as a board of director to listen and try to do everything I could to help create greater diversity on the board and throughout the city as a whole.
Okay, thank you, David. I appreciate it. Next question goes to, let me see. Yeah, next question goes to Dale Peaker, and that's question number 4. Sarah, you got it?
Got it. Municipal governments, such as the one in Montclair, New Jersey, have worked extensively with their houses of worship, community organizations, and the business interests to create a vast cooperative network that ensures that all unsheltered residents have access to 3 cooked meals each day and have a safe place to sleep at night. What is your vision for the city of Little Rock replicating such a network? And if you're speaking, you're muted.
Yeah, I think Dale, you were muted earlier.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I would really like to find out about that program and see how well it's working and how they've set it up. It's probably, those are probably their goals. I don't know that they've actually been able to achieve that, but I know, gosh, it's certainly we want to have everybody well fed and well housed. We have a big homeless problem in our city. We want to work to address that. I think that, part of that, part of the solution is working to get that community services department established in Little Rock. We get that established and they can start working with the homeless actively instead of just working with them when there's a problem, and trying to get them situated, find out what the problem is. Right now, I think, in all the social organizations we have in town, I think only the Jericho House has a full-time social worker there.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's definitely someplace we could go ahead and invest more money.
Okay. Next question is question number 5, and this question is for Dr. Dean Comperis. The question is, the city of Little Rock has allowed its Black Wall Street, which is 9th Street, to literally die. What will you do to resurrect 9th Street and create and maintain a thriving historic district?
Now I can talk.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
I'm not sure it has to just be on 9th Street. I think that you have to empower and get services to people where they want them. And right now we're working on several initiatives to do that. One is working with the city and developers on how to get a grocery store on 12th Street. We're working with Darren Williams on 2 different things. One is that if you ask the young people that we ask, they say they want a Black-owned bank. What you really want is a bank that is friendly to and understands the needs of the African-American community and the Latino community. We're trying to set up a fund right now that will give microloans to people that don't have the ability to get a traditional loan. Once you start encouraging business, and once you start giving people the way to prosper, and once you start getting people the way to expand their business, then you have a thriving community. And it doesn't have to be on 9th Street. It just has to be in some place where everybody feels good about it.
Okay, Sarah, question number 6 goes to Joan Adcock.
Thank you so much. And number 6 says, what would you like the city of Little Rock to be known for nationally and internationally besides the 1957 desegregation of Little Rock Central High School?
I'm sorry, would you repeat that? I started coughing.
Yes, ma'am. What would you like the city of Little Rock to be known for nationally and internationally besides the 1957 desegregation of Little Rock school system, the Central High School.
I would like for the city of Little Rock to be known for its kindness, the way it welcomes all people, and that we include all people in everything that we do. As you know, I work with the Latino population in Little Rock. I have done that for 5 years. And we have brought lots of the consulates here from other countries. And we have asked the Latino people as well as other groups of people, what do you need for us to make us a more welcoming city to you? We planned a big festival this year, as you know, but that was canceled with the virus. But as we bring people here from other countries and we serve the people that we have here, we understand that we need to do more. And a moment ago, someone talked about the employment. When we started with working together in the community, we had 3 Little Rock police officers that spoke Spanish. And because we have really concentrated on hiring more police officers that was bilingual, we now have 36. But you know, we have a lot more.
Your time is up.
Thank you.
Okay, moving to question 7. Actually, we'll have 2 candidates answer this so that we could kind of make sure each candidate would have an opportunity. So question 7, first we'll go to LaRon McAdoo. And the question 7 states, what can the City of Little Rock Board of Directors do to ensure that the taxes collected on properties within the city are equitably distributed to the Little Rock School District's schools?
Well, you have to put the money where the need is, and there is considerable need within the central area of the schools versus the schools out. So if, again, going back to my answer earlier about you have to address the need. And so those monies need to address the need. And really, you have a Southwest school that's totally new that doesn't have Chromebooks for all their students. How ridiculous is that? And part of why they're on a break right now is because they don't even have the equipment. I talked to a teacher over there who said she didn't even have the furniture for her school, for her classroom. So I think that there needs to be a distribution of funds that make sure that the places that need it get the funds. And I think that's something very visual, tangible. You can see where the funds need to be placed. And just one other thing, there's been a couple of questions that dealt with race. And I'll just say that we don't even have a national food chain as Black. Of course, we need a Black bank owned by Black people. We don't have a automobile company that's all Black. We don't have a Jerome Motors. We need Black things.
Your time is up.
Okay, and as I mentioned, question 7 actually would go to 2 candidates. Second candidate for question number 7 will be Greg Henderson. And I'll read the question again, Greg. It's, what can the City of Little Rock Board of Directors do to ensure that the taxes collected on properties within the city are equitably distributed to the Little Rock School District schools?
Yeah, I think that, you know, as LaRon mentioned, and I think that he's got great insight into this, that it's not equally distributed. If you look at the schools, if you look at, say, the new West High School, it's big. We spent a ton of money on it. The Southwest High School, how long did it take that district to get a nice high school that they can do? I live right down the street from Dunbar Middle School, and they literally have places where you can see through the floor above you on the roof. The problem is that what we try to do is we try to distribute equally, I guess, not really, but we miss out on the places that need it the most. We should be shifting funds instead of distributing equally. We should be shifting funds to the places that are broken, the places that need it, not just to make sure that our, you know, high-paying property tax folks out in West Little Rock have something nice that they can, you know, send their kids to, as opposed to sending them to the private schools that they really want to send them to. We got to make sure that schools that are in need, schools that are hurting, schools that have the students that are, you know, in need of an education, the absolute most are the ones that are getting the funds the most, not distributed equally, because Little Rock's not equal. We've got a long ways to go for equality, and until we start trying to put money into schools and districts and areas that need it the most, we're never going to be equal. That equality gap is just going to continue separating.
Okay, let's see, moving on to question number 8. And again, we have 2 candidates that will fill this same question too. So the first candidate will be Antoine Phillips. Question number 8.
Perfect. What is your commitment in reference to the term limits for the City of Little Rock Board of Directors?
Make sure I understand the question. The question is, what's my stance on term limits for the Little Rock City Board of Directors?
Yes, sir. What is your commitment in reference?
Absolutely. Like all walks of life, I understand that everything we do is we're in the interim role. No one's in anything permanently, no matter what job you're in, what position you hold, and even on the city board of directors, we're not here to be here forever. You're here to do work for the people, and then we need to decide if that work has been done and people hold you accountable. If they like what you're doing, they'll bring you back. I think that's something for the city to decide. The board of directors shouldn't decide whether there's a term limit or not. We need to allow the 200,000 people in the city of Little Rock to decide whether we need term limits. I want to address some of the other issues that came up in this question period. One of my opponents was asked a question about how do we increase diversity on the board, and I think it was mentioned that it's a difficult thing to do. It's not difficult. The problems in our society are not hard to do. I mean, the solutions are not hard. We just hadn't did the work. And the way you do this, you increase opportunity and access to people who hadn't been at the table before. You can do practical things like rotate the city board meetings, where we have a city board meeting at the D. Brown Library. You have a city board meeting at the Dunbar Community Center, so people can have access and engagement, and they can see how this works, and they're not afraid of the boogeyman as it relates to city government. You also educate people on the process on how important it is for them to be involved. Things that hadn't happened in our city, the lack of education, the lack of involvement, and we can do that. That's not hard to do. We just hadn't done it. So I think that's important. We need diversity on our board, and that's one reason why I'm running, and I hope to have you vote. Thank you.
Okay, question number 8. Again, second candidate goes to Russ Raycop. And Russ, let us know if you need us to read the question again.
No, I got it.
Okay.
Well, Antoine's right. It's the electorate that should decide whether we change our form of government, whether we have at-large directors, whether we have term limits. But it's the board that puts those proposals out there and creates a ballot initiative to have that in the city. And that hasn't happened. We were supposed to have that at the end of last year, where there was a talk about change in the form of government here. And that's something that we need to do here in the city, and we need to get it put before the voters.
Okay. Well, that completes our, I guess, an unprepared questions. At this point, we will move into closing statements. I want to thank everyone for participating, candidates. I think you've done a fabulous job. There are some tough questions here, but these are the type of things that we've understood that the citizens of Little Rock are interested in. And so we really appreciate your answers and the thoughtfulness that you've put into them. And I think that it's been a service for our citizens that are watching here this evening. So with that, we're going to move into closing statements. And each candidate will have 60 seconds to close out. And we will start off with Mr. Antoine Phillips, position 9 at large.
I believe in the Bell of Little Rock. I believe in better in general, and I'll tell you a quick story why. In 1997, I was in 7th grade, and I had a 3.8 GPA the second 9 weeks. And I was preparing to go to the spring formal in middle school. And during the third 9 weeks, my mom told me, "You're not going to the dance this weekend." She wouldn't let me go to the dance because my grades were dropping. My grades dropped down to a 3.6 GPA. And that was in February of 97. In May of 1997, my mom passed away because she had cancer. That's the last real memory I have of my mom other than her being in the hospital. her telling me and teaching me, it took me years to realize this, but that you could be better. That better is available if you're willing to work for it. And I don't accept the status quo. I don't accept it is what it is. No, it is what what we're willing to make it. It is what we're willing to work to make our city. I'm willing to work to make Little Rock a better place for all of us to live, work, and play. And I hope I get your vote starting on October 19th. You can learn more at AntoinePhillips.com. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Phillips. The next closing statement is for Ron Muse.
Thank you. As an at-large director, I will advocate for a successful and comprehensive solution to homelessness. I will promote a discussion of how we might follow the example of Community First Village in Austin, Texas. You can look that up under mlf.org. I believe the more we learn about competing views, the more prepared we will be to become better. We would better understand each perspective. Simply opening our minds and hearts to respect views of others leads us toward sympathy with them, which is key and necessary for progress. I would like to thank the host for having this forum tonight. I think it was very instructional, great opportunity to express our views. And I would like to ask you for your vote. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Muse. We appreciate you.
Hold up, Scott. Mr. Muse, would you please give your contact information?
Yes, I am available several different places in the social media. All you have to do is go to Facebook or Twitter and type in my name. It's spelled ROHNMUSE. Presently, I can be found in a feature at the Arkansas Times Online, which is it includes a lot of information about me and my background and my interests and my qualifications. If you
Thank you.
there, I think you would see it.
Okay. Next closing statement, candidate, it will be Joan Adcock.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to you about a city that I love and its people that I love to serve. If you would like to contact me, my cell phone is 590-8765. My home number for 62 years has been 565-6098, and I still live at 6808 Mapleville Pike in Southwest Colorado. I would love to have you in serving our community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Adcock. Thank you. Okay, I believe I got a note that candidate Tom Horton may be back online. Mr. Horton, are you online for closing statements? Okay, not hearing from Mr. Horton again. We will reach out to Mr. Horton and give him the opportunity to submit responses in writing. We'll make those available because certainly, again, for whatever technical difficulties we're having, we don't want that to appease his opportunity to present. The next candidate that we hear closing statements from will be Mr. David Allen Bubba's.
Thank you, Scott. It's a historic time, and we're going to need historic leadership. We have civil unrest like we've never seen. It's absolutely unreal. And we need leaders that can come together. We need leaders that can bring unity. We need leaders that can listen and not always want to press their agenda, but be willing to listen to others. So that's why I'm running. I'm running here because I feel like I can work with the mayor. I feel like I can work with all areas of Little Rock. I've served in all areas of Little Rock. I'm experienced with my work on the Planning Commission and seeing the city's issues and being able to help get things done, having people come in with trying to grow their business, but also at the same time having concerns about the homeowners in the area and trying to find ways to make things happen and make things work. And that's my experience. That's what I've done. I've developed property, I've developed real estate, and I can work to create jobs, to grow our economy, and really to grow our revenue. We've got to raise our revenue to our city to help meet the needs that we have. So I really believe that I can help make Little Rock better. We can do better, and I hope you'll vote for me. Please come to my website at wecandobetterlittlerock.com.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bubba's. Let's see, our next candidate that we'll hear closing statements from will be Mr. Greg Henderson.
Thank you. And thank you all for hosting this. This has been a great forum. I'm really excited. I've been a part of 5 or so forums now, and this has been the best engagement that I've ever seen and ever been in. And I really appreciate everybody who took the time to get out, because I know that I love Little Rock, and I think that everybody here does too. And that's kind of a key part of being engaged citizens and being engaged about what the future of Little Rock looks like. Little Rock right now is at a crossroads. I think we got a question to ask. Do we continue to make the mistakes of the past 30 years, or are we building for the next 30? There's some city directors that seem to be complacent in just keeping the things the way they have been and continuing to make the same decisions over and over again. And that's a lot of the reason why I want to run, so that we can make decisions that build Little Rock for the next 30. I want to make sure that my kids have a Little Rock they can believe in, but not just my kids. I want to make sure that all kids, regardless of race, gender, or who they love, can feel the same way about Little Rock. And I want to make it a place where they feel like they can come to, they can grow, and they can create a life for themselves that's better than the one that they have today. You can learn more about what I'm doing at jgreghenderson.com. You can hit me up on Facebook, and you can text me at 501-960-7829. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thanks.
Okay, great, Mr. Henderson. Thank you. We appreciate you. Next candidate closing statements will be Mr. Dale Picard.
Thank you. Things I'd like to emphasize first is, of course, no more sweetheart deals for the exurbs. When we sell city services to Kamak Village, to Maumelle, to other people, we have to be getting a fair and reasonable price. We have to get a deal that's good for Little Rock. It's obscene to be giving Kamak Village a full Little Rock Fire Department coverage for less than $11,000 a year. That kind of service would cost over $1 million if they tried to provide it themselves. We have the same kind of problem with our radio service that we provide other people, and with our 911 service that we provide other people. Why in the world are we contracting out and giving 911 service to other communities when we are already way behind in terms of meeting the calls on time and in terms of abandoned calls? We have to prioritize our police effort so that we start using people who are trained in social work to address things like homelessness, nonviolent activity, children acting out, welfare checks, and we have to fix 30 crossing. Little Rock has done very well in the downtown area, and RDOT really has had a hard time accepting that the city can actually thrive with some congestion.
Mr. Picard, your time is up. Will you please give us your contact information?
Sure, it's dale.picard@gmail.com.
Okay, Mr. Picard, thank you, thank you. Next closing statement candidate, Dr. Dean Compuris.
Well, Scott, thank you and your organizations for hosting. This has really been fun. I am a firm believer of never letting a good crisis go to waste. And we are truly in a crisis right now. And I feel like that for the first time, everybody in the community wants to make the community better. And I think this is a complicated issue, but I see that people are putting their egos aside and working with other people to get things done. I think there are things that we need to do immediately, and we are doing. And I think there are things that we need to do to make sure that our education system is sound, and most importantly, that we keep and attract the young people to this community. The reason I'm running is I think that I understand the complexity of the situation. I think I have the experience to help solve it, and I would appreciate your vote. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Please, we need your information.
dcompuris@me.com.
Thank you.
Okay, next closing statement candidate would be Mr. Russ Raycott.
I want to thank the Arkansas Peace and Justice Movement for organizing and hosting this forum. I'm not a politician, and I don't pretend to be one. I'm an individual that is compassionate, hardworking, and dedicated to making positive changes here in our city. I am one of, if not the only candidate for an at-large position that is recognized by citizens in any part of the city because of my engagements as an activist, blogger, and influencer. If you are tired of the status quo, vote for me and encourage your family and friends to vote for me. I'll be your voice at City Hall, and you can take that to the bank. Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace. And folks know my contact information because they inundate me daily with telephone calls, emails, and direct messages on both Facebook and Twitter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Raycott. Next closing statement candidate will be Mr. Laron McAdoo.
Ladies and gentlemen, I represent for you to build best belief is the essential tool. My challenge is I cling to the dream of East End to Highway 10 and everything in between. All communities, no matter house, lot, or street, Kamek Village, University Park, or Otter Creek. Their highlights from High Heights to Pinnacle Mountain to Clinton Library with the Infinity Fountain. Central Highway worldwide, we can't fear that past. We can make education right here world class, a rich heritage. I can't say it no simpler. We must mark history like Mosaic Templars. Small town, you can say was the picture once, but our vision is open like a fest on riverfront. Bold as Razorback red, nothing hold us back. We stand strong from King Street to the cul-de-sacs. Have no doubt our will can be most intense. I represent the Le Petit, Roche, and French. And when it comes to our wealth of stardom, we're straight like baseline barrel 12th of Markham. Got styles from proper to popping, from pure to plus. City not scared to race for the cure, that's us. We must light bright the spark for all here in Arkansas. LittleRockLove.com. LittleRockLove.com, LaRon McAdoo, position 9.
And I guarantee you that was freestyle. Well said, Mr. McAdoo. Thank you very much. Okay, and our next closing statement candidate will be Ms. Sheridan Richards.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Scott Hamilton, and thank you everyone for having us tonight. I need you to understand what's at stake with this election. If you give me your vote, I will work for a more inclusive city. I want to unify our city across racial and socioeconomic lines through a fresh start. FRESH stands for family, reading, equity, skill development, and housing. I want to remind you that Joan voted to maintain symbols of hatred in our city. She voted to keep Confederate Boulevard and not change its name to Springer Road. She voted to keep Robert E. Lee as a part of the Martin Luther King Day holiday. She is holding on to a checkered past instead of learning from it. If you give me your vote, when I'm asking you to do that in November, I will work to build a more inclusive city. Please donate and help me finish strong. My website is votesheridanrichards.com.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Richards. We appreciate it. Again, I want to extend our appreciation for all the candidates. I think you all did a fantastic job. I also want to send my thanks to Clarice and Kwame Bay. They are actually the brainchild and the ones that put this forum together. So I was just a measly paid spokesperson. Sarah Lee, I think you probably are a measly paid spokesperson. You may have some closing comments, but seriously, again, Clarice and Kwame Bay, fantastic job for putting this together. Sarah Lee, you got any closing statements you'd like to make?
Yeah, thank you so much, Scott, and thank you so much for everybody to attend this forum. Still a lot to say and to learn from these, coming up elections. Good luck to everybody for election day, and remember, early voting is starting October 19. Anything else that please send their comments to Clarence and Kwame and or myself or my colleague Scott Hamilton. Thank you so much for also being my co-moderator tonight.
Awesome. Okay.
Are we done?
Are we done?
I think we're done.
All right.
You're free to go.
Scott, your check is in the mail.
I will say, I'm not done. I'm not done.
You want the full 3 hours, right?
No,
Thank you so much.
seriously, if any of our citizens want to stay and talk with Antoine Phillips, I'm here as long as you need me to be. So I'm here.
Antoine, you may want to give them your Zoom account.
Because they're about to cut you off.
Hey, email me Antoine at AntoinePhillips.com. We can Zoom right now. I'll put it in.
Wonderful.
Antoine, I'm gonna need you to be quiet so I can hear
All
some
right.
more LaRon's freestyle over there.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Gotcha. All right.
Great job.
I was never afraid to be the person to close down the nightclub, so I'm happy to close down the club. So I'll say if anyone leaves.
Okay.
Great,
Well,
great job, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Buenas noches.
we'll leave this open for 15 minutes if you guys just want to talk.
Cool.
Oh,
I like it.
Let's talk.
Thanks, Scott.
Hey, thanks, Alan.
Good to see you, man. Appreciate you
I can't believe
hosting.
you recognized that those were actually lockers there.
I
But they're
got to
pretty
take
cool,
a
man.
shot
I was
at you when I can, man.
That's cheap storage.
Hey, guys,
I've collected those too, is how I know about that.
Yeah. How'd you know about those?
I collect them for work.
No
When
way.
we open a restaurant, we put those in it, and everybody can put their purse in it or whatever, and lock it up if they want.
Yep. Well, Alan,
If
you
you
can
want to sell it, let me know. You make a profit.
Well,
So I
Alan,
think
real
Ms.
quick.
Evans had a question, Ms. Lori Evans.
Oh, it's actually, it's just that, so I'm with Indivisible and we have on our nonpartisan election information site, VIPvoter.org, there, we've listed all of the candidates. So just want to let any candidates who are up here tonight know that if you go check it out, and if there's something, you know, if you want to send us a different picture or there's a website that you wanted us to include, you know, this is basically just information we pulled from Arkansas Times and Arkansas Online, but if you see anything inaccurate, please let us know. You can email us at contactus@indivisiblelrca.org.
All right, thank
Thanks.
you.
Y'all did a great job. I mean, that's quite a marathon. I know y'all are exhausted at this point, but it's really valuable to voters. Thank you.
Oh, what was the link again, Lori?
So it is VIP. Let me go just actually look it up. Make sure I can give you the whole website right. I mean,
Can you put it back in the chat? I saw someone text it earlier, and I checked it out.
yeah.
Here to
I'm
be
gonna
correct.
go. This is our board of directors, right? That's what we're on
Correct.
tonight. Okay, here it is.
Greg Henderson just put it in the chat.
It's
I had
great.
a copy off
Okay.
of my
Okay.
clipboard,
Thank
so
you.
it was easy.
Hey, Scott, I have a question.
Hey, you guys,
Okay.
I have a question. Oh.
Ask away.
The ladies first. Go ahead.
You're so kind. Hey, you guys, this is Vicky Hatter, and I have two questions. I'm gonna put them together. What do you guys think about youth programs or creating program reviews right on youth programs that are getting city funds, right, to ensure they are meeting their RFP that they did when they requested the funds, to make sure that they are doing to make sure they have measurable outcomes. And then the other question is, what do you see the role of the city board, right to the city, right to the Little Rock School Board, which I know that we just got the 4 community schools, which I'm extremely happy about. So can you speak to a little bit of that, either Ron, Antoine, or Greg, or any one of you guys?
I'm happy to go first, if it's okay. I know we're kind of out of bounds now, and the rules may not apply like they did, Scott, but I'll jump in there. And Vicki, that's a great question, and thank you for joining us in this election season. I know you're a candidate, and you could be doing other things and hearing us talk, so thank you for that. As it relates to your question, currently the city of Little Rock spends about $5.5 million in PIT dollars. And just like we have called, and I agree that we need to reassess how much money we're spending with the department, which takes up about 40% of our budget. We also need to reevaluate how we're spending those funds and are they actually producing the metrics that we thought they are. I mean, $5 million is a lot of money, and we got to make sure that the folks getting that money are producing outcomes that are changing lives in our city. As someone who grew up primarily south of 630, I know the importance of having sports. I know the importance of having people believe in you and give you the opportunity to uplift yourself in life. So we need to do that. So I agree that that needs to happen. That needs to be a part of the budgeting process, just like every dollar should be. No dollar is guaranteed. You have to be able to present and earn when we're spending taxpayer dollars that is being done the right way. To your second question, as it relates to Little Rock School District, the first thing that the City of Little Rock Board of Directors, we need to be a voice. We need to support the Little Rock School District. For years, there hasn't been a relationship. There hasn't been a voice that stood up. We can all remember Stand Up Little Rock. They did not stand up for the Little Rock School District. So first, you need to be a voice. Second, you need to be an investor. We need to invest our resources in our facilities to expand pre-K throughout the district. We need to continue to scale up the community school model and work with our communities to make sure that the community school model is what we want it to be. And lastly, what I think will be a game changer in our city is that we create the Little Rock Promise Scholarship. Just like they have in El Dorado, like they have in Arkadelphia, we need to get money available for our students who graduate public school in Little Rock, that when you graduate from public school in Little Rock, there's a scholarship waiting for you because our city cares about you and cares about your future. And that's ways we can partner with the Little Rock and Pulaski County Special School District.
Yeah, and I think if I can build off of what Antoine said to your first question regarding whether or not we would review what's getting funded, I believe we do need to have some accountability and some checks and balances in place to make sure people are not running off with our city dollars. So we do need measurable outcomes. I have extensive experience in the nonprofit industry. I've served as executive director. I've served on nonprofit boards, and accountability is critical to making sure that our dollars are being used efficiently and that they're going as far as possible. So that's the first thing I want to say is checks and balances and accountability is necessary. And then with regard to our newly elected school board, Mrs. Hatter, congratulations on your candidacy. I think we have a unique opportunity to form a partnership with our newly elected school board, soon to be newly elected. I think we need to be collaborating and dreaming up together solutions to serve our children better and make sure that they have the wraparound services that they need to be successful. I shared this recently at a neighborhood association meeting, and Director Joan Adcock said that she did not think that was a director's responsibility, a city director's responsibility. That's a concern for me because I have a 5th grader and a kindergartner who attend public schools. And I need to know the person sitting in position 10 is thinking about our children. And so if you give me your vote in November, I want you to know I'm not just advocating for the adult residents of our city, I'm also fighting for our children, and they are the future of Little Rock.
And man, to youth, Lord have mercy, there's so much I could say. Once again, being in the Little Rock School District since 1994, being an educator at all levels, I've taught K through 12. I've seen need from K through 12. Being an art teacher, I taught everybody. I taught the kids who academically needed help all the way to the AP students. So I've literally taught every type of and kind of student. And so I know that there's a need out there for these programs, but the programs don't need to duplicate what the schools are doing in terms of tutoring and some other things. What they need to do is the wraparound services, because the burden that teachers have now is ridiculous in terms of the things that we want them to tackle at school. As I mentioned earlier, we want school and education to tackle all the issues of society, like teachers are the magic bullet, but that's not the case. So the city can take up that slack and not duplicate those services. That's what these programs have to do. And I know that because when you have a child come to you and say, man, I wouldn't have graduated without you, and you teaching me how to make money with poetry didn't save my life, but it probably saved somebody else's life. When you have a kid tell you that and look in his eyes, and being at the alternative school for 9 years, you know that he would have got his money. He would have ate some kind of way. he would have eaten some kind of way. So these programs have to be there. In terms of the partnership, I call it a parallel partnership because, again, you don't have to duplicate these services. What you have to do, the city needs to come in and take care of the things that the teachers and the educators don't. I've had students that were cutters. Right. As an art teacher, how I'm gonna give a kid some scissors if they're cutters? I can't. That child, and I'm not equipped to deal with their particular need. The facility doesn't have everything that it needs to cope with that type of child. So we need those other facilities to come in, other programs to come in and take care of needs that teachers are not equipped to do.
Yeah, well said. And real quickly, I just saw a note that the after party is going to end in about 2.5 minutes. So we probably got room for one more question. I love it. But there is an after party after the after party. Anyone got another question that week? I think we got time maybe for one more real quick.
I have one more question.
Awesome.
I keep hearing us talking about bettering the city, and it seems very broad. I want to know very quickly, what are some practical, tangible things that we plan to do to make it better? As we know, we talk about retaining people here. We talk about drawing people here. What economic activities and what recreational activities are we planning for the city to keep people here? And more so, how can minorities be a part of that? How can we be represented in an equitable fashion?
And I love the fact you got these two young ladies around you. That's fantastic. Beautiful young ladies.
Let me just jump in and get out right quick. I just want to say that I'm a venue owner. I provide entertainment. I'm a promoter. I provide those outlets. So I think it's a matter of having the marketing behind these people that are here. I'm on the Arts and Culture Commission, and we're talking about artists marketing where they're doing stuff and when they're doing stuff. I think there's a lot going on. Like you mentioned, there is a lot of great things going on in Little Rock. A lot of times we don't know about it. So as a promoter, as a visual artist, and as a musician myself, I know that these events are happening. We just got to get the word out, and we need help with that.
Anybody else want a quick response to that question?
Great Absolutely. Quick response. Since my campaign theme is believing better, I want to talk about that. It is a broad thing. And first we need to change our mindset, and then we need to work to make better happen. And you create better neighborhoods by changing our ordinances where a developer will be allowed to build affordable housing in downtown Little Rock. The ordinances kind of make that too difficult to do right now. You change our ordinances where small businesses don't have to jump through so many hoops where it takes you 5 months to get a zoning change. You make a better Little Rock by changing our use of force policies with our police department. You make a better Little Rock happen by changing the disparity in the number of contracts that go to minority suppliers, and you educate them. You change the RFQ process, because currently, right now, if you do business with the city of Little Rock, you get bonus points. So if you're a new business and you want to do business with the city of Little Rock, you never catch up. You change that. Those are very practical things. As it relates to recreational options, one great example of that is Riverfest. We lost Riverfest. I think the city should have fought to make sure things like that happen so we can be a cultural destination with a signature event. So those are very tangible things that we can do to create better neighborhoods, better economic opportunities, and better recreational options.
Yeah, I was thinking like for the downtown area, if you look at a place like Leavenworth, Washington, they were a dying community. And what they decided to do was they focused on their German heritage. And so now if you go to Leavenworth, Washington, you have all these German themed restaurants, and people come and they enjoy it, and it's decorated that way. Why can't we go ahead and seize on the Le Petit Rocher, a French thing, and do a French theme in the downtown area? We already have Dassault here, and they have a lot of French people coming here. There's a lot of focus. It would might help unify that area and provide it as a destination for a different kind of recreationist.
Okay, and I think I'm getting the curtain call. So again, thanks everyone for the after party. Great responses, great questions. We're going to let the bays go. And again, thank you so much. And we'll do this again soon.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Vote Antoine
Okay.
Phillips, starting October 19th.
That's all right.